Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Listen, we got awesome news. More and more places are finally accepting Bitcoin as a payment. Now, there's been some third world countries and second world countries that have accepted Bitcoin here and there. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is starting to happen in first world countries. This is starting to happen in places like America. And this is just the start. Okay. This is just the start of everything when it comes to the crypto markets. Now, I'm going to show you the news in just a second. Big shout out to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. First 50 people get $20 off their first 2 meals, which means you can literally eat for free. Just use the code on your screen or the link in the description below. But people, listen, this is fantastic. This is how it starts, right? Third world, second world, next thing's first world, and then it's like a few places with the Bitcoin. Bitcoin's really going to blow up over the next couple of months. People, it's going to be all over the news. Then a lot of places all of a sudden are going to start, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. Next thing you know, it's like 1/3 of the places, half the places over the next couple of years as Bitcoin rises in price, as countries fight for the supply of Bitcoin, as more money gets pumped into the markets, as everything becomes more mainstream. Next thing you know, all the places are going to be supporting Bitcoin, and then eventually they're going to be supporting certain stable coins. They're going to be probably supporting something like XRP. They're going to start including other coins, and next thing you know, 10-15 years from now, everything is going to be paid with crypto. It sounds crazy now, but when people said this stuff kind of a couple of years ago, that Bitcoin will hit 100K, Bitcoin will start getting accepted in multiple countries, countries will adopt Bitcoin, everyone laughed. Everyone always laughs until it happens. Okay, but at that point, you're too late. You didn't have the vision, you didn't invest, you weren't a couple steps ahead, and you snooze, you lose, right? So this is the news that came out, right? Stake and Shake officially begins accepting Bitcoin at all locations. And this is an American company, right? Located in America. And we can see, right? This video by Crypto T. Shout out to her. If you don't know her, shout out to her, right? Boom, Stake and Shake, finalized order. And there we go. Boom. There we go. Bro paid with crypto. Okay? He paid with Bitcoin. Pay with Bitcoin. Okay? QR code pops up. Next thing you know, boom, right? Boom, 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 boom. Sorry for the sound in the background of the video. Boom, it's loading. Takes a couple of seconds. There we go. Now, that's awesome. That is fantastic. Now, I personally wouldn't pay with Bitcoin just yet. Okay, I really, really wouldn't, right? For me, this is one of those things where I would be holding my Bitcoin until I cash out. And then, once I cash out, I can buy myself a burger. Because listen, you buying that burger now, right? Let's say Bitcoin is at $104,000. Okay, let's say you did pay that 20, you pay that $20, right? If Bitcoin hits 140K this cycle, 160K, who knows? But let's say 150K this cycle. Actually, no, let's just say it goes up 150 to 160, right? Let's say it goes up 50%. Buddy, you technically paid freaking $30 for that damn burger. All right. So listen, man, listen. That's the only con. But you gotta remember, a lot of people are not financially literate, right? Just even in first world countries, a lot of people they abuse credit cards, they abuse everything. A lot of people are in debt, and it's not me like crapping on anybody, right? But it's just the truth. It is just the truth. So that's the only thing. Some people that really know the real value of Bitcoin will probably not be using it, but your casuals will, right? Your casuals will, especially if they bought Bitcoin on a dip, right? Let's say it retraced back up 10-15%. They're like, oh my God, I could pay, I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin. Now it's worth, 12-13 bucks. I give myself some cool, a cool burger or something. So they might start doing that. But look, overall, ladies and gentlemen, right? Bitcoin and crypto are going to be inevitable. Okay. If we just look at the markets, right? We can see that we are 3.34 trillion market cap. Okay. A couple days ago, Coinbase got officially added to the S&P 500. The first crypto, company added to S&P 500. Crazy times. Okay, crypto is just going to become more mainstream whether or not you like it. Okay, if you don't like it, cry about it. Seriously, cry, because there's nothing you can do. It is inevitable. Okay, it's been rising every single cycle. Bitcoin and altcoins have been doing well. Now, for altcoins, is it always the same altcoins? No, but for Bitcoin, yes. I mean, look, we could go all the way back to 2010, right? This thing was literally at peanuts, one cycle up, another one, a big one, and then we could just see it just continues and continues and continues. And it was just, it was just a coin that was literally at a couple cents, at a couple dollars, a couple $100, a couple thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Now we're hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then a decade from now, we're going to be at $1 million. Okay. It is inevitable. You have to realize, okay, here's the thing. A lot of people get scared with the price, but the price fools you. Okay. The price fools you. So if we go to something like the whole global market cap, right, we can see that we're at 3.27 trillion, right? We talked about how I do expect minimum 7 to 8 trillion to cycle, but we could go upwards of 16 trillion if we go full on moon boy. But if we go all the way up, ladies and gentlemen, all the way here, right? This is where the stock market was just recently, like a week ago, around that 124, 126 trillion market cap. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should have, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets. It peaked at a little bit over 180 trillion market cap in 2024. Bitcoin is all the way down here, right? Bitcoin is all the way down here. I mean, the whole crypto is all the way down there. And we know Bitcoin's always going to have most of the money. That is just how it is. The dominance usually at most falls below 40%. Okay. But look, even if it was just like 50% on average, if we would ever go up to 100 trillion, that's 50 trillion in Bitcoin. You realize how much that's going to pump the coin. Okay. You got to realize us going to 20 trillion market cap would be $1 million, right? A little bit over $1 million. It's not impossible. It's really not. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's not impossible. You got to realize companies, institutions, banks, hedge funds, countries, everyone sees this opportunity as fresh, as something new where they can make so much money. You have to realize the stock market, other places, they're already like, there's opportunity to make money there. But here it's like waves of money because this is so young, this is so fresh, and this is so small compared to other markets that, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think crypto is going to really pop off and be popping off over the next couple of years, then you have been living under a rock. Do not let your ignorance and arrogance, best you, right? Don't let it be your enemy. Okay. I'll tell you a story. I was ignorant with crypto many, many years ago, right? After my first cycle, I experienced, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to do this again. I don't want to really learn too much. I kind of still dabbled here and there, right? After, things went to like 20K, I bought near the top with certain altcoins, everything dumped. And then I remember like once the price was here and started to recover, I remember this summer, I started to get really back into it, but I was still kind of ignorant. Okay. I was a little skeptical. And if I was just simply less ignorant, if I simply learned a little bit more, if I just put an extra like 30 hours, I could have really been one step ahead in my life. I really could have. All right. And I was ignorant. I was like, nah, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to put just a little bit of money in crypto and stuff. In crypto, it was still, I still made money. I was still very happy. But I was like thinking, damn, like really, I put it in something like silver. I mean, like I made double the amount of money on silver. I was happy, but in crypto still made me a lot of money. But I was like, oh, if I just put that money that I put in silver into, crypto, I actually would have been chilling right now. But I was ignorant. I didn't want to put that time. I was like, nah, crypto this, crypto that, Bitcoin this, I was a little bit more loose with it. And nah, ladies and gentlemen, this is why the last few years I have locked in. right? I have locked in because I am not letting the same mistake happen. And I don't want it to happen to you, okay? Listen, in terms of Bitcoin price action, ladies and gentlemen, things are looking overall solid, right? Things are looking solid. We are mainly consolidating between 102 and 104.5K, right? This is our main ranges. Now, I do overall expect for us to continue to go lower. We may see a burst in the upside, right? Depending on how this daily candle closes. But in general, right? In general, we are just kind of ranging. There is no real indicator that a big sell-off is happening, other than the fact that we are losing a little bit of momentum. But in terms of actual technical, analysis, right, we do have higher lows, right? We do have higher lows for the sell, but we have a very weak bearish or bullish candle. So Friday is just kind of like lingering around. I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of chills more or less, but we will continue to monitor the price. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't be ignorant. The world is going to start accepting Bitcoin and other forms of cryptocurrency. And yeah, love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.